All right, so the next example we have on our worksheet is what we have number 3. Pick up an extra pound of goose liver for dinner. We're expecting company. Well, what we're going to find here is two things. One is I have a semicolon. We've never really dealt with a semicolon before, and it's not going to be on our very first quiz. So I've not taught you actually the rules of a semicolon, but it's another way of actually making a compound sentence. So I want you to be able to see that we have two separate sentences here joined by the semicolon, but we also have what we call an imperative sentence, something we're going to get into in our third unit more in detail. But I want you to know that sometimes you may have a sentence where there is no subject, as we're going to find with number 3. So let's see if we can diagram this one. I'll show you how it looks. It's still going to be a compound sentence, but we have some additions of the semicolon as well as no subject. So let's see if I can do that same sharing thing I just did with you. See if this will work. I'm going to hide. Oh, this thing's still there. Whatever. All right. Let's see if we can get this thing to be a little bit larger. That's delightful, right? Okay. And I'm going to start off with green. Let's start off with green. Green's a fun color. That's what we left off with. Let's do green. So the first thing is I'm going to take this back half. I'm going to take this because it's a real easy sentence. We're expecting company. So I'm going to do him first because he's pretty easy. One thing that's different about him that we've not come across, what if it's a contraction? Because really what you're saying is we are expecting company. The whole verb is are expecting. And so therefore, I'm going to, in terms of diagramming, I'm going to diagram it just the way it actually is written. So it's pretty fun if I think about it. I guess as fun as it can be. So let's see if I can squeeze all this on here. So our subject is we. Your verb is are expecting, but I'm going to draw it exactly how it's written. So I'm not going to put the A in there. I'm going to put the apostrophe RE, and then here's expecting. And my direct object is we're expecting whom? Direct object. So a straight line. It's kind of squiggly. And then company. So you do that with a contraction. If it was don't, you would simply literally write don't. If it was we are expecting or I'm going, you'd still put the apostrophe M with I'm going. So same thing here, just going to do the apostrophe RE. All right, to the first sentence, I'm going to change my color. I'm going to go to my go-to, which is going to be orange. It's one of my favorites. Here is pick up an extra pound of goose liver for dinner. Well, I can see some prep phrases. For dinner, of goose liver. And so I'm left with pick up an extra pound. I don't think up is a preposition. I don't think I'm saying up an extra pound. I think I'm saying pick up as one big phrasal verb. Remember phrasal verbs? We have a verb with a particle. So this case is like saying purchase an extra pound of goose liver. So pick up is one big verb. But you'll notice there's no subject. So let's build this sentence way over here. It's the most unstraight line ever. Well, I have a subject, but he's not there. So here's my line which separates the subject from the verb. Subject from the verb. My verb is pick up. So I'm going to put pick up here. I'm not going to put it over here because it's not the subject. You're like, well, what's the subject? Well, there's a number of things you can do here. You can leave it blank because there is no subject, and that's fine. You can also say, well, isn't it understood the word you, like you pick up? And it is. So one option is to put the word you in this space, but to put parentheses around it, just like we did when we took on indirect objects where you can add the word to or for in parentheses to let us know, hey, you're missing a word. If you don't like that, and I am going to get rid of it just for sake of showing you. Let's see if we can get rid of those. Ooh, 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 ooh. Seriously? You just hanging around? There we go. I like using an X. I like using an X as a way of letting me know there's a missing word there. Something else we did when we took on pattern 8. So we're saying it's you pick up, and like, what am I picking up? Here's what gets tricky. I know you're picking up goose liver. I know you're picking up dinner. But those are in prep phrases, and I can't choose a direct object, which is in a prep phrase. So if I can't choose those, the only choice I have is pound. Pound has to be my direct object. So I have to say, you pick up pound. And we would say it's and pound. I know that sounds weird, but that's how it's written. So it's and pound. And it's extra pound. It's a pound of liver. And then it's goose. What is going on here? I think my screen is now. There we go. Sorry, everybody. I have to kind of come down a little further in order for me to draw this line. So it's going to be goose liver. and it's goose liver for dinner. I'm just going to come back up here. So see if it's for dinner. So there's a couple of different things. You could say I'm picking it up or I'm purchasing it for dinner. It's a pound for dinner. It's goose liver for dinner. So that for dinner really to me can go almost anywhere. It's right next to the word liver. And so if it's next to a word that actually can fit there, I might say, well, it's goose liver for dinner. So I might put it there, but I also have more room under pickup. So just for sake of the fact that I have more room there, I'm going to put mine underneath for dinners underneath pickup. I'm picking it up for dinner. But if you want to put underneath pound or liver, but go with your bad self. That's fine. So here's for. Here's dinner. Huzzah! Now, let's change up our color a little bit. Let's find something pretty. My daughter loves pink. Let's go pink. So we know it's a compound sentence. So I automatically just say, hey, get that dotted or that dashed line between verb to verb. All right, so make sure it gets there. I don't care how fancy you get there, but the moment you get there, you get there. All right, so look at that. It's a little fun thing here. And now I'm going to put my conjunction in there. And, but, or, nor, for, so, or yet, or some conjunction. I don't have one. I have a semicolon. Well, then you leave it blank. We don't put in commas. We don't put in periods. The only punctuation that kind of sneaks into a diagram, as you're going to notice, is sitting right here like an apostrophe. But you don't put in the semicolon. So if you drew this for me, this, I assume, is a compound sentence which is joined in a way which doesn't have a conjunction. Maybe it's a semicolon, as we're going to find out later. Maybe it's a dash, or maybe it's a colon. Other ways of actually joining two sentences together. But in this case, this sentence is just fine. And if you're curious, because I'm sure you are, look at this. This is, oh, seriously, this little page is like scribbling down. I'll come up here. This is a nice little pattern 7. Because it's subject, action, verb, direct object. And this is a pattern 7. It's a subject, action, verb, direct object. So it's like a little 7-7 combo, which is very common to have. All right, so that's what it looks like when we're making an imperative. One more example, everybody. Let's see what we can do.